Okay, this one was a little bit tough to graph, but let me show you how I did it. So you'll do, in parentheses, 2x cubed plus 38,000, close the parentheses, divided by x. You do have to make sure you have the parentheses around the whole numerator, but that is very important. So once we put that in and we hit draw graph, and we scroll over, we're not going to see the graph originally. So you start to zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. You do start to see the graph there on the left, but look what happens if you zoom out too far. You can't really tell what's going on here. You might think the minimum's kind of down here, but that's just really because you can't really see what's going on. So when I look at my options on this problem, it says using a graphing utility to graph it, and it says all four graphs use the limit 0 by 100. That's saying that the low x coordinate is 0, all the way up to a high x coordinate of 100. And then the y limits on the window is from 0 to 8,000. So that's starting at a low of 0, going all the way up to 8,000 on all four of these windows. So that tells me that this little minimum should be somewhere on the y-axis between 0 and 8,000. So on my window over here, that kind of helps me to look, tell me where I should look. So I'm going to zoom in a few times here. You want to maybe zoom so that on the x-axis you're about where their window's at. See that on the x-axis their window is from 0 to 100. So on my x-axis I can drag this maybe till I have from 0 to maybe zoom in one more time, I don't know, 0 to 100 about on the x-axis. And I'm going to, well, let me zoom out one more time. I'm going to zoom out one more time just so I can see, because on the y-axis I want to go, I'm going to have to keep scrolling up, 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 because it looks like our minimum is going to be somewhere between 0 and 8,000. So I'm going to keep scrolling till I can see a minimum somewhere. And there it is. There's that minimum they're looking for. Otherwise, I may not have known where to look. So it was nice to know what their scale was. So always look at these scales here, their limits, to see where you should be looking on your graph. Because once you find it, then you could start zooming in around there if you want. Because that's the minimum they're talking about. Now we still don't have the same limits as them, but now we can use this minimum function. Once you click the minimum button here, you just need to tell the calculator where to look, so you drag from the left of your minimum somewhere to the right of your minimum, and then it'll find it for you. So there's a minimum at the x-coordinate of 21.18 and the y-coordinate of 2,691.33. That y-coordinate is talking about the surface area of the box, again, because this is the function we typed in. So s of x is really like our y-coordinate. So it's not talking about the y that's in the height of the box, but the y-coordinate, which refers to this s of x, which is the surface area. So when you have 21.18 as an x dimension in the box, the minimum surface area is going to be 2,691, which was the answer there to part C.